Hello friends, welcome back to today's video, or welcome if you are new. My name is Tanya. Hi, and I like to talk about books on my channel. And today I'm going to be talking about my 2025 reading goals. I feel like I'm really just excited for the new year. I'm definitely in the Christmas spirit. I've got my red lipstick on today, my red nails, I've got my snowman sweatshirt. I'm feeling it, and I'm just excited about what's to come in the new year in regards to reading. And so I want to share some of the goals that I have for myself. I don't know if they're maybe goals, maybe more so suggestions, because again, I think reading is just about enjoying yourself and having fun. I don't want to put so many restraints on myself and feel like it's a chore, because I don't want it to be that. Reading is, you know, a joy for me and just fun, and I definitely, I don't want to limit myself and feel like, oh, I'm stuck doing this stuff. So just keep that in mind, kind of where I was coming from in regards to my goals. So these are kind of more so suggestions or sort of guidelines to help guide me, but who knows if I'll stick to all of these really in the new year. So let's get into some of these goals. First goal, and I feel like I have this a lot, but I wanted to also just read more nonfiction and more classics. But I feel like in past years I tried to do one nonfiction, one classic a month, and that was just honestly too much for me. I'm not normally a nonfiction reader. And classics usually just take me a while. That's just the reality I've learned. And so I felt like I was kind of getting discouraged when I was like, oh crap, I didn't read one a month. And it just wasn't really encouraging me to try reading them. So I am hoping just to kind of maybe quarterly to make sure I at least read maybe one nonfiction, one classic. And if I read more, that's great. But if I don't, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it, but that's kind of the goal that I'm going for, is quarterly. So if I can at least do that, that would be nice. The next goal is something that I had already been doing this year that worked really well, and that I'm going to continue to do so in the upcoming year, and that is that I'm going to continue book journaling, particularly in this visual format. So last year I tried this journal. I am very much so a visual learner, which is why I think this has worked so well for me, because I've tried all kinds of different journals, just written ones that had no pictures. I tried bullet journaling. I tried so many other kinds, and I just always failed at them, or they didn't really I just didn't maintain them, and I always felt so bad. But with this, I just found this worked so well for me, because one, there's not a lot there. It's short. I didn't have to write a lot, but I also really just love the visual aspect. This, for some reason, just for me, really clicked, and so I am going to be doing something similar to this. Stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing a video with you, flipping you through my journal, seeing all the books that I've read this year, and kind of just doing a flip through of it, so you can see. That'll be a different video, and you'll kind of get to glance more inside. But I am also going to show you my new journal for the new year. It should be coming soon in the mail, and it's very similar to this. So if you're curious about any of that, stay tuned, subscribe if you'd like to. That will be coming up hopefully soon. But I for sure will continue doing this, because this is one thing that, again, has worked really well. I stuck through it the whole year, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I just found it really beneficial. So I'm going to definitely continue doing this type of journaling in the new year. The other thing that I am going to be focusing on in regards to the content that I'm reading is also just, I don't know how to word this, less spice in books, or focusing more so on books that, it's not even how do I word this? I'm not even against spice in books, but I have just noticed, and maybe some of you as well, there's just been an uptick in a lot of publishing, especially in romantasy, right? That there is just a lot of times such a large focus on the spice of the book that there's almost where's the plot? Right, where are we going with all these things in our reading? And again, if I'm not saying if you read those books you're bad or anything like that, it's not at all, but I just feel for me, I've just found it frustrating where sometimes I'm I want more plot. And so I think I'm just going to be more intentional about making sure that, again, if there's spice in a book, does it actually make sense to the plot? Does it fit? I don't want books that get overtaken, basically. I don't want books that are overtaken by spice. I want plot to be the main driven focus in a story. So that's just kind of something I'm going to be a little bit more intentional about, because unfortunately just this past year I just felt like I tried to read so many books that people really recommended, and I was like, I feel like, are we recommending it because of the spice or because of the plot? Because those are two very different things to me. And so I just want to be a little bit more focused on books that are plot driven, if that makes sense. The other goal that I have is that, as you can see a little bit peeking out here, this is a lot of my physical TBR. I definitely have a lot of books that I have not read. And also even just on some of these other shelves, there's more shelves going out this way. So my goal is that I would like to read through my physical TBR, and I am hopefully going to do kind of like tandem, find some of my physical books, but if I have them like on Libby or as an audiobook or Hoopla, I find that I tend to read through the book faster. So hopefully get through what a lot of this is going on over here and read through that. And part of that, again, with the getting through my physical TBR is I'm setting a goal for myself to be better, is I hopefully don't want to purchase any new books until next year, my birthday. So because I want to read through the ones that I have, and I got a lot. You guys saw recently I did a haul. I just got a lot from Book Outlet and a few other places and things for gifts. So I want to try to make sure that read through as much as I can, and I don't want to buy any new ones until next year, my birthday. So hopefully that is my goal for myself. Part of that obviously is that I'm going to continue. This is something that I've been doing even more so this year, but I want to continue utilizing Libby, Hoopla, and there's also now, I found out if you have Amazon Music, you have one Audible a month, which has been really nice. So I'm hoping to try to utilize all those 3 different things, and like I said, work on my physical TBR. But if, for example, there is a new book that I really want to read, I'm hoping that I'm not, like, instead of purchasing it as a physical copy, I'm going to utilize one of those 3 resources and read it on there instead. So that just in general for physical TBR, but also I think financial too, to try to save money in that way. The other thing that I kind of would like to do more, especially because I'm hoping to focus more on my physical TBR, is I'd like to get a little bit better at annotating or marking places. I'm not a super always big highlighter, except for some of my like theological reads, but I like doing little tabs. I find that helpful, and so I'm hoping to get a little bit better, and not just because I don't want to do it just to do it because it's like cool, but I do think, again, I've mentioned I'm a visual learner, and so I think I've noticed little physical tabs just kind of helps me to, again, visually see things, but it's just, I find that better sometimes than highlighting, so I'm hoping to do a little bit more of that in my reading. And that goes along with my next goal, which I'm hoping to do and get a little bit better at doing quality and a little bit more in-depth reviews on my books. And so obviously in between, you know, like writing in my journal and you know, just online reviewing things like that, I just want to get better at making them a little bit more in-depth and making sure that I'm really focusing on the plot and talking about it, and just, you know what I mean, like just getting really into it, being able to talk about it clearly. I think this will be helpful for me as well, just in regards to YouTube as well, but on other platforms and other reviewing things as well. So that is my goal, to hopefully be more in-depth, and I think having the annotating, having the journal will hopefully help strengthen that for me, and that I'll be able to have good quality reviews when I do make them. Along with the reviews is just also, especially like for arcs, and this is maybe more kind of channel content, but I'm hoping to maybe get a little bit better at doing maybe individual video reviews for arcs. I'm not sure. I'm going to try it out, see, but just again making sure that my arcs are getting read, the ones that I do have, and that I'm getting a really good in-depth review. So again, that kind of goes along with that last point, but just for myself, I'm really trying to emphasize that and making sure that I do like an extra good job than maybe what I have been doing, and just focusing on that as well. The next goal is that I would like to focus and make sure that I read at least a few books that are in Russian or Spanish. So Russian is my native language. For those that don't know, I'm originally from Ukraine and I grew up speaking Russian. I speak Russian with my family, and it's hard if you've ever moved in another country, because obviously I live in America. I've lived here for over 25 years, and sometimes that affects your native language. And so I just really want to make sure that I'm still maintaining my knowledge of my language knowledge, and so I really want to just even either as an audiobook or I have some on my physical TBR, but I just want to make sure that I'm emphasizing reading in Russian. And then also Spanish is a language that I'm learning, and so I just want to try to make sure that I'm reading some books in those languages as well, just for my own personal language acquisition and development in those languages. Then the last thing is in regards to tracking and tracking of my books. This is something that I'm still kind of trying to figure out, that I've been experimenting with, but I think that in the new year I will more so be using Fable. I have tried it out recently and I really have liked just the platform. I've liked the visual of it. I've liked a lot of how the data is broken down, and how there's just graphs. And again, I'm a very visual person. And so for me, the visuals are so helpful. Like even just seeing the books that I've read, seeing monthly wrap-ups, seeing all the little graphs, seeing which authors I've read. There's just a lot. And I encourage you, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I don't know, because it's so hard, because I obviously do have a Goodreads and I do use it because I've used it for so long, but I don't know. And the nice thing about Fable is you are able to transfer over what was on Goodreads into Fable, but it's hard because a lot of my friends and family are still on Goodreads, so there's that element where I don't really have anybody on Fable in regards to my friends and family. So I don't know, I can't for sure say that no, I'll never use Goodreads. But I think I definitely for sure, I mean, I already have basically, but I will be utilizing Fable as well, because I enjoy it a little better. And again, just that visual element, I just prefer much better. So I don't know if I'll be using both or just one, but for sure I'll be using Fable more. In regards to a number of books that I want to read, I know in the past, I've always just kind of tried to increase it a little bit. And so I think this past year on Goodreads, I think I had 75, and I'm close to meeting that. So I think I will meet my goal of 75. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to set maybe 100, but I don't know. I'm trying to see. It's like I always say, I just want to read for fun. It's not more so a number. So I might maybe just set it at 75 again, or 80. I don't know. We shall see. But so like I said, with a lot of my goals, it's more on the quality of my reading rather than the amount. And I think I want to focus more so on that. So we'll see what happens with the number. Really, I don't know. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about some of those, and maybe it encouraged you to see what some of your reading goals. I'd love to hear if you want to comment down below what are some of your reading goals or plans for the upcoming year. I'd love to hear it. And again, thank you so much for watching. I would appreciate it if you take a moment to subscribe if you can. It would really help support my channel and help it grow a little bit, and I'd be eternally grateful. And stay tuned for the next video. Bye everyone.